Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
That's right. It's Taylor 500 help. You want to get ready for the winter weather that is inevitably going to come to Rochester, New York, and you want to have Taylor Heating and Plumbing come on over and service your furnace. Make sure that it's working fantastic. Call Taylor now for their Plumbing Safety Essentials Plus plan. Save $100 on a Bradford White water heater and get free diagnostic fees and no overtime charges. Since 1947, Taylor Heating and Plumbing and Bradford White have been the most reliable source for all your plumbing and heating needs. And of course, they do a lot of things: duct cleaning, air conditioning, heating, plumbing, home energy. Taylor does it all. Call Taylor 500 help. Precision Lawn and Garden, they have snow blowers. You're going to need snow blowers at some point in time. Snow blowers in Rochester are a necessary evil. Precision Lawn and Garden is in Webster. They've been providing service to Rochester area since 1969. They've got chainsaws and snow blowers and blowers. They've got zero-turn mowers. They've got push mowers, whatever you need. In-stock models, sale models. Kimberly and Justin will help you out if you need something along the lines to make your lawn or your driveway look fantastic. That's Precision Lawn and Garden. And Express Sealers. Nothing makes your curb appeal look nicer than a freshly sealed driveway. We just had ours done last Thursday. It looks amazing. Brian at Express Sealer came out. Took him a little over an hour and a half maybe to do the driveway. He did a fantastic job. They're not one of those door knocker sealing companies. He got out like a weed eater. He got all the weeds around. He did the edging. He did a magnificent job. Call them now. They patch your cracks. They do lawn and landscape. They do. I know Tom laughs, but they do. If you got a crack, they're going to patch it. Call 645-2010, 645-2010. Please support our advertisers because they support us here at the We the People Podcast Network and Kimberly's Revolution.
We got an empty seat.
We do. What happened?
We don't know.
What happened?
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in cloudy 68-degree Irondequoit, New York.
Hello.
She's our real estate savant. Here she is, Kimberly Ray.
I am something. I don't know if I'm a real estate savant, but it's wow. Do I have a lot to learn? Yeah, I am Kimberly. It is Kimberly's Revolution is what you're listening to and watching on YouTube. You can watch us on Facebook on the We the People podcast Facebook page. I don't know where Chad is. Chad said he was coming in hot. He is doing the dad thing today, but we thank all of our Patriots for joining us today. Sorry I wasn't here yesterday. My day was crazy yesterday. And sometimes you just need to make that money. You know what I mean? You got to make the money. So I had to go out and making it rain. So Tom is not sitting across from me.
I am not.
He's sitting catty corner to me.
This is the better side of you, Kimberly.
Austin is here with us. And Austin, as always, giving the big thumbs up, which we love. There he is. There's Austin.
Nice.
Yeah, there he is.
Hey, hello.
Hey, there's Austin.
Hi.
We appreciate Austin for being here today, and also give a shout out to Fitz at Rockvox Productions. Fitz at Rockvox Productions, of course, is the guy who helped us get all of this together, kind of gave us advice about how to put a podcast together. He can also give you advice if you want to start a podcast, if you want to do a podcast from his studios. He's over in Bushnell's Basin, and I highly recommend him. He knows his stuff. He knows what he's doing, and he can make movies too. So Fitz at Rockvox Productions. That's ROCVOX Productions, and he's in Bushnell's Basin. You can see him there. And Chad will hopefully be here very soon. The way I was going to start is not going to be the way I'm starting because he's not here. But I will say, you know how the supply chain issue. Well, first off, let me say today's show is titled "Gone, Girl." Girl, you gone. You gone, girl. You go on and get out of here. Gone, girl. And I say gone, girl, because we got two girls that are gone. The main girl, Mayor Lovely Warren.
Right.
Gone.
Out of here.
Gone. Main girl is gone. Her other main girl, the police chief, the interim police chief, guess what?
She's gone.
Gone.
But she wanted
I
to
bet
leave.
you
In
thought-
fairness, she didn't sign up for the long term.
In fairness, she wasn't
Well,
ready or right. Listen,
yeah, but she knew it was temporary when she got hired.
she wasn't even eligible to carry a handgun in public. Can I just make that clear? Our interim police chief in the city of Rochester, which rivals Chicago statistically for the amount of murders so far this year, our police chief was not publicly allowed to carry a handgun because she didn't have the permits necessary.
So you're saying she did a good job.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dude,
Kimberlina.
You know what? If I had 3 thumbs, that'd be 3 thumbs up, but I do not. That's
Hey,
3 thumbs up.
Kimberlina.
Yes.
I didn't. You're wearing your I'm vaxxed necklace today.
I am.
Nice. I like it.
Is that what Kathy Hochul had on the other day?
Right.
Listen, I'm wearing a necklace that says my name because, sometimes I get drunk and can't remember where I am or who I am.
Right.
So it's always good in case I'm passed out somewhere on a street corner in Rochester or anywhere in the United States for that matter, that someone will come by and go, oh, that's Kimberly.
Do you have your underwear?
Okay.
Is your phone number in your underwear? And do you carry a quarter in your bra?
I've got Garanimals and they tell me the day of the week. And, back in the 80s, I just scribbled your number on my hand if I liked you.
Hey,
If I didn't, I went, no more number.
we learn things every day
Hey,
about
Austin,
each other.
That was before when guys would give you the number or you would give guys the number.
Yeah, there
You
was no
wrote it.
texting.
You would write it on your hand instead of doing it in your notes
Right.
or swiping whatever. I know.
Why didn't you put it in your contact list? I don't understand. I'm joking. I'm not that young.
I miss 1988.
Right.
I really do.
Hey, guess what?
What?
We learn things every day.
We
something
do?
new about each other.
Yeah.
Who knew you're a bowling brat? Chad and I have started in a bowling league over at Parkview Bowl in Seabreeze, and apparently you bowl as well. How exciting.
I don't, and I hate Mimi. Let me just say that. I don't bowl. Mimi got me roped into this bowling league, not last year, but the year before when I was still employed as a radio personality, of which I am no longer. So I bowled, and it's one Saturday a month starting in October and goes all the way to April. And it is the bane of my existence. I do not bowl, and it gives me palpitations. It brings I'm scarred for life because every day, every Tuesday and Thursday, the entirety of my youth growing up, my mom and dad were on a bowling league at the Strike and Spare in Blue Springs, Missouri.
The Strike and Spare.
It's right on 7 Highway. Those of you in Kansas City know it. It's in Blue Springs, called the Strike and Spare. My mom has the bowling shirt. She's got the ball. The ball's a little too heavy for me. She was on Bowling for Dollars in Kansas City. I know Bowling for Dollars was a show that was everywhere.
Right.
She was a good bowler. And I spent the majority of my Tuesdays and Thursday nights in a freaking bowling alley while my mom and dad bowled on a league. And I had to go because I was too little and they didn't want to leave me home because, they were good parents, right? I was 8, 9, 10 years old begging to just please let me stay at home and watch TV. Nope, you're going with us.
Did they
leave you home with drugs and guns?
What's that? Well, we need a mic. What?
They didn't want to leave you home with drugs and guns.
I know, right? So I had to sit at the snack bar and do my homework and eat French fries or
It's a good time.
bowling alley hamburgers and play the pinball machine.
That's a great childhood.
Fun.
We did the same thing with our daughter at the hockey rinks.
Awful. It's just I'm scarred for life. But we're bowling it starts on Saturday at 3:00 at Dom's.
Tom Brothers
So,
on Ridge Road.
Come
Classic.
have a drink with me.
And some nachos.
I'll be there crying away. I'm on Cupcake. Cupcake Chris, Kirk, and my husband Rich are on a team.
Me and Bob McDonald used to go there after school in 6th and 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah. Oh, at Dom's?
Yeah. We used
Yeah.
to go there after school all the time, bowl a couple games.
So it's underneath where Bathtub Billy's used to be before they
right.
moved out because they couldn't control the chaos in the parking lot that wasn't related to Bathtub Billy's. So, at midnight, 1:00, when gunfire was going off in that big parking lot that's right there, Bathtub Billy's decided to hit the high road and go down the road to where the Grease Ridge Mall is, and that's where they are because of all the violence in that parking lot there where the Dom's bowling alley is.
Yep.
So you guys are bowling every other Friday night.
Yes.
You have fun with that.
I'm already looking forward to it.
I'm a horrible bowler.
At the new Seabreeze Bowl in Irondequoit, formerly Parkview Lanes.
Nice.
Formerly Parkview Bowl.
I'm
yeah.
horrible. I just go for the wine. And
Wine?
it's a bowling alley, so you know what kind of wine they
I was
have.
going to say wine at the Strike and Spare doesn't sound too enticing. Have you ever had a strike or a spare in your career?
I have had a strike. That's where all of the
I was going to say, do you even know what a strike is?
Yeah, it's where you knock all the pins down in the first bowl, right?
The first shot. Yes.
Yeah, I have. Good. I've never been able to do it since, but purely coincidental. I've done it one time. All right, enough of me. Okay, so I don't know where to start. One, I want to call you a domestic terrorist because that's what you are.
Why? Because I was late?
Because you care about your kid and you care about their education and you care about what's taught in school and you care about the food that you care about having a whole family that cares about the education in your household, and you worry about your children, and that obviously makes you a domestic terrorist. And I want to start. You're also, not only are you a domestic terrorist, but now you have a grandkid, Tom. That notches you up a level. You're like a domestic terrorist times 2.
Nobody knows I'm here. I'm the shadow.
Because you did everything. You followed your kids' education. You hauled them around to hockey games.
I followed all the rules, Kimberly.
You made sure that the kids were involved in activities so they weren't out on the street turning into Antifa hoodlums, right?
Correct.
Or shooting each other in a parking lot over, where Bathtub Billy's used to be.
As far as I know, yeah.
Right? So I just wanted to set that. I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that you were Chad Hummel, a domestic terrorist. I am Kimberly Ray. I'm also a domestic terrorist.
And I'm just Tom.
And you're just Tom, and you're a domestic terrorist.
I've been a domestic terrorist since at least January 6th, according to Leticia Stasio, when she tweeted out, at the FBI, arrest this domestic terrorist.
Right.
Me, Jeremy Capel.
When the FBI
Fritz.
calls, don't answer.
Yeah, I answered.
Don't answer. Just let that go to voicemail. But yeah, I think I'll start there because.
Do we have that statement that was issued?
President Biden?
Yeah.
I do not have that.
That's the one you're referring to, where he's asking basically the FBI and the Department of Justice to get involved with the parents who are speaking out at
board meetings.
Yeah.
Let me just lay this out for you.
It's unreal.
Gas prices are the highest that they've been in 7 years. You think we have supply chain problems now? You wait till a couple of months. We have supply chain issues. We have grocery store prices, and I don't know who does a grocery shopping in your guys' families, but in my family, we do it together, or mostly it's just me, depending on my husband's schedule. But you go to Wegmans or Tops, and it is incredible. I mean, the gas prices, the oil prices, you wait to the heating oil, you wait till this winter, where your RG&E bill is probably going to double. We have the FUBARD situation in Afghanistan. We've got another 20,000 Haitians.
We have an open southern border
on the way currently right now to the southern border. They are making their way again to the southern border near the area of Del Rio, where all those other Haitians were just like, let go. But yeah, you see those people right there, the moms holding up signs that say, we don't want critical race theory taught in our schools. We don't want our children to be masked. We want our children to be in school and not online at home, having normal relationships with other children. We want this for our kids. But President Biden says those people and you and all the patriots listening right now, you are domestic terrorists, not the people that were burning the cities a year ago or 2 years ago, depending on what city you lived in. Or maybe if you live in Portland and you're listening, you realize that your city is burning every night. They're not concerned about the leftists burning down cities and tearing stuff up. They're worried about mom and dad in Suburbanville, USA, going down to the school board because what they're teaching in school and what's going on in schools is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
So you're a domestic terrorist.
It's absolutely freaking believable. It really is.
Yeah.
So you talk about, let's just look at the baseline of this. They are President Biden wants to invoke the FBI as a jurisdictional authority to deal with individuals who at worst are committing state level misdemeanor crimes at worst.
Right.
So even if we assume that their premise makes any sense, which of course it doesn't, because they've provided no evidence whatsoever that any of the things that they claim are happening are actually happening. In fact, it's the exact opposite. You're looking at Exhibit A. Exhibit A was the one that was targeted and harassed and arrested for doing nothing by my school district.
Right.
You know, there's plenty of other individuals here locally in Monroe County that have been harassed and targeted and even arrested. We had the guest on the show, Rich Tyson. Who was targeted. He was harassed. He was sworn at by a board member.
Well, Rich Tyson today would be labeled a domestic terrorist for going to that school board meeting.
They harassed him.
And running up to the table because the guy told him to bring it on.
Yeah, and called him an asshole.
And called him, because Rich Tyson was trying to say, don't be disrespectful to the people here asking questions. People like you and Rich Tyson and me, we are no longer allowed to speak our piece at a school board meeting because they are going to clamp down on us and sick the FBI on normal, decent people who want the best for our children.
Yeah.
Is that crazy? And I'm not making it up. That is the headline on the New York Post today, because if parents are threatening school board members, then police will be called. And Justice Garland has announced that the FBI would back the law enforcement and visit people who are not behaving in school board meetings.
Yeah, they want to set up meetings, right? They always have a meeting. They always have, some bureaucratic boondoggle is going to be put in place where the Department of Justice, the FBI, is going to spend the next several weeks and months supposedly meeting with local law enforcement. Yeah. So what local sheriff's department, what local police department, what state level police department is going to sit? But are they going to sit down and engage this discussion with the FBI? Are they going to take their marching orders from the FBI and the Department of Justice on this?
That's going to be interesting.
Is Sheriff Todd Baxter going to get a memo, presumably in his email box or in the mail? He's going to get a memo from the Department of Justice or whatever local FBI agent is heading it up for this area, right? Is he going to get that memo in the mail and it's going to say, okay, we want you to carry out Biden's intentions here? And what's Sheriff Baxter going to do? Is he going to place police officers at all of our school campuses? Well, it's interesting because when there's a school shooting,
why wouldn't they do that? I mean, the violence is going on in almost every city. Why don't we take what limited resource we have and make them go sit down with parents and school boards?
Shooting today, right?
School shooting today in Texas, right?
I've been saying for years.
School shooting today in Texas. African-American kid got into another fight with a kid in school.
Oh, you just spoiled my take.
I'm sorry.
Is the suspect African-American?
Yes.
So I'm driving. Yes. When I was driving here, I'm listening to the news report, the local news report, talk about the school shooting, and they're talking about how they have a shooter and they have a weapon and they have this and they have that, but they haven't announced yet that he's a white kid from the suburbs, et cetera, et cetera. They haven't played that stereotype yet. So I said to myself, well, the suspect must be either Muslim or African-American because the news isn't reporting that he's a white kid from the suburbs. Exactly. That's why it wasn't reported on the iHeart news feed that I just heard.
Right. That's the kid. Because it's racist.
Yeah.
You can't.
It doesn't fit the narrative of taking guns away.
So there's the kid. He got into a fight and forget about all the school shootings. We're not concerned. We want to label parents domestic terrorists. Yeah. But we have a huge violent situation in all cities and schools. So this kid got into a fight in school with another kid. He lost. This kid lost.
So he went home and got a gun?
So he went home and got the great equalizer. And he came back and he started shooting people. Luckily, no one was shot fatally. But there's the kid right there. Where'd he get the gun? Is it a legal gun? Did his mom and dad have a license for the gun?
It must not have been
I don't know.
It must not have been a gun-free zone. Didn't they have posters up on the wall that say no bullying, no guns? I mean, wouldn't that have stopped it?
God damn.
Wasn't there a sign out on the school property that said this is a gun-free zone? I don't get it. Why? How did this happen?
I didn't get that part of it.
Let's put some common sense into this Biden school.
Are you trying to say everything I just said wasn't?
Well, but let me just say, President Biden has said today that parents harassing school board members has
Right.
escalated to and let me quote here, a national crisis.
Right. That's getting to my point.
I did not know that parents questioning school board members at meetings is all of a sudden a national crisis.
Well, it is when
you know what's
they
a
have
national
an agenda.
You know what a national crisis is? Kids not being able to read. Kids having to walk down city streets in Rochester afraid they're going to get shot before they even get to school, for God's sakes. You know, kids in the inner city, you know, they don't feel safe walking down streets to get to whatever school they're going. Shouldn't we start there instead of the people who actually care about their kids? I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing I've heard. So now the FBI is involved because you, as a parent who cares about your child and what's taught in school, you can't care about it. If you get angry about something that happens at a school board meeting and you shout and say something, the FBI is going to be calling you.
Hotline.
This is, to me, this is a scare tactic. This is Biden telling America, look, don't escalate this. You know, we're going to do this. They're not going to do anything. I mean, none of these. I mean, if it gets escalated to a point where violence starts to happen, now they've got something to fall back on. But there's no way. I mean, we say this. How many times has Chad said this? Like 2 weeks ago, would you have thought this would have happened 2 weeks ago or a month ago? You'd have been, well, this is insane.
And if you said it was going to happen,
you'd be people like, this is insane. Who would ever think of this? But it's clickbait. It's a scare tactic so that people that go to these meetings will be on their best behavior and they won't escalate it. Because
there he is, right there. Justice Garland.
The most people that attend these hearings aren't in it to get in, you know, they don't want to get arrested. They just want to be informed. They want to get their opinion about. So it's a scare tactic.
Supreme Court Justice Merrick Garland said that parents will be investigated who are protesting school boards over critical race theory and mask mandates. He said it. A Supreme Court justice.
Well, hold on. He's not.
He's the attorney general. Isn't he?
He was the candidate. He was. Obama tried to get him.
Sorry.
Obama tried to get him nominated.
Here's the other thing.
Of course.
So I'm sorry, Attorney General. I was
all the same.
A Supreme Court Justice, Attorney General. Sorry about my mistake.
You can argue which one has more power, right?
But so to that end, and I was just talking to you before the show started.
You were talking to me? What were you talking to me about?
The senator. What is her name?
Kirsten Gillibrand.
Cinema. No, the
Cinnabon is Arizona
Democratic senator.
Right.
So she is not on board with the whole Biden $1 trillion plan that is it's just a horrific nightmare of an economic collapse of everything. She's not. So you know what they're doing? They're chasing her wherever she is.
She's an adjunct professor at Arizona State.
And they chased her into the bathroom.
How they got on campus.
That's a noble cause, though.
But they're justified.
Of course, that's right.
And how did they get on campus? How did they get into a building at a university?
You, as a parent,
it's a gender neutral bathroom,
Chad, are not allowed to go to your school board meeting and question and get hot under the collar or raise your voice, because that makes you a domestic terrorist. However, you can chase a United States sitting senator into the women's bathroom
and tape her while she comes out of the stall
and holler at her while she's doing her business. She's peeing whatever.
I don't even know what to say. You can't make it up. You can't make it up.
No, this is where we are.
Because Kimberly, this is what you don't understand. Clearly, you don't understand. Clearly, you're ignorant.
Help me. To help me.
Clearly, you're ignorant.
Help me.
Well, she is a bowler, Chad.
Help me to be not so ignorant, please.
You alluded to this a little while ago. You just didn't understand what it was that you were talking about.
Oh.
And that is that when you do things like riot, smash windows,
burn things down,
burn down Target, when you throw things at police officers, when you knock over barricades, and when you do things like that, those are righteous causes. Those are things that you have to understand, put yourself in the shoes of the people that are doing those things and understand what they're doing. They have the right to do that because they're trying to get to a noble end, right?
You have to break a
And
few
it
eggs to
doesn't
get an
matter
omelet,
what you
Chad.
do. Exactly. It doesn't matter what you do to reach that noble end, right? So if burning down police departments in order to defund the police, go for it, right?
Right.
If the end game is we're going to defund the police because all cops are racist and they're out to kill every African American that they see, then it's okay to burn things down and shoot people. But if you're a parent who opposes critical race theory
and
you
masking
and masking
and homeschool and you know, having your kids sit in front of a computer for 7 hours a day
Yeah.
because they're only allowed to go to school for like 3 days out of the week.
and the worst thing you do is show up and shout and protest with a lot of people locked arm in arm and create a situation, a very, very uncomfortable political situation for the left's agenda, right? Not an uncomfortable physical situation, right? Imagine you're the shop owners on Main Street during the Rochester riots of the George Floyd summer of love, right?
Right.
You are literally in fear for your life, right?
Should be.
I mean,
Yeah.
I came to this building overnight because the rioters had made their way down Titus Avenue and they were across the street at Irondequoit Liquor.
What were you going to do?
Oh, that's for us to talk about off air.
Okay.
He
So-
was going to do nothing.
So shop owners.
He's a big teddy bear.
Do you have Tom with you?
Yeah, I wasn't going to do anything.
I told him to stay in Gates.
Yeah.
So shop owners had a legitimate fear of their physical safety,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
A legitimate fear of their physical safety.
Mhm.
But here we are. If you are doing nothing but protesting the American way, then the Department of Justice and the FBI, at the request of
The
Joseph
president.
Robinette Biden, they're coming after you. Hotlines
his
are set
attorney
up.
general. Yeah.
And they're Attorney General of the United States of America. And back to what I was saying earlier, and that is, even if we take their premise to actually hold water, and that is that parents are committing crimes, which they're not,
No.
but let's assume they are. What are they committing? State level misdemeanors and violations, which is the jurisdiction of state level police authorities, your local police department, not the FBI,
Not anymore.
not Merrick Garland.
Is
Wait,
now.
This is absolutely insane. So to Tom's point, is it a scare tactic? Absolutely. And even if it goes no further than that, that is appalling and egregious and is
Sure.
unconstitutional as acting upon it, in my opinion.
I just can't believe that
You
we've
don't
gotten
scare
to this
free
point.
Americans
No, but
No.
they
through
are.
intimidation
That's exactly what they're
under the
doing.
color of law. You don't
Yes.
do that in America.
Well, it's happening.
Where's
I-
the
it
merit,
is.
Chad? Where's the merit for them to even case law?
There's none.
What
no precedent.
what could you compare it to?
Nothing.
So-
Nazi Germany.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said that this latest decision by President Biden and his minions is part of a disturbing trend in the Democratic Party to silence parents, silence anyone really who
Exactly.
doesn't go along with the Democratic line.
Fire you if you won't get vaccinated at work.
Exactly. Do
Send
you-
the FBI after you if you dissent at school. I
Yeah.
mean, does anyone see a pattern? No, I'm crazy. I'm crazy. It's actually happening. I'd
happening.
be crazy if I predicted these two things. Tom already said this. If I had predicted these two things 6 months ago,
It's so nuts.
Joe Biden himself said he wasn't going to mandate vaccines. Kamala Harris said she was not going to mandate vaccines. Here we are. Here we are. People
La-
are losing their jobs.
Last week, Virginia Democratic gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe said parents should not have a say in what their children are taught.
Really?
That is
Of
Virginia
course he did.
Democratic gubernatorial
Yeah.
candidate
He'll win in a landslide.
Terry McAuliffe said parents shouldn't have a say in what their own children are taught. And then it continues, obviously, today
Who should, Terry?
Because that's the state's job.
with
That's some bureaucrat in Richmond or Albany's job to
Believe what they
determine it.
say, people.
and so here we are. If you think what couldn't
It all
happen,
started with that damn new math.
if you think what couldn't happen could never happen,
It's happening.
it's happening. And it's happening everywhere. And if you go to a school board meeting and they decide to call the cops on you and the FBI come and talk to you, Don't say we didn't tell you it was going to happen. It's going to happen. I wouldn't answer the phone. I'd let it go to voicemail. And whatever you do, don't sit down and have a conversation with them. Chad.
That's great legal advice.
Chad, when they call, is it like a
Chad.
regular number or does it come through FBI?
Yeah, does it come through? You're in a shitload of trouble.
Well,
What does the phone
I mean,
number look like?
all kidding aside,
Does
I'll
it say
tell you.
spam?
All kidding aside, I'll tell you what it looks like. I got that phone call. It comes 1716. They call out of Buffalo.
They call out of
yeah,
Buffalo.
The agent, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The federal office for the FBI is, I believe there is a satellite office here in Rochester,
Mhm.
but the main
There
office
used to be. It used
on
to be
State
right
Street.
down in our
at the federal building.
Yeah.
Right, but they had offices too in where the radio stations are. Radio
okay.
95.1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there's some offshoot. I don't know what
Is
it
that who walked you out of the building?
Maybe it's DEA. The FBI walked me out. Yeah. I'm just
But Buffalo, you're going to get the call from 1716. So if you go to a school board meeting on a Tuesday night and you voice your opinion on critical race theory or on masking,
the FBI.
and you get a call in the morning from 716, don't answer it. Or answer it and kind of screw with them a little bit.
Right.
Just don't admit to anything.
But you can chase sitting senators
Yes.
into the bathroom screaming at her the entire way. And that, my friend, is acceptable. Lavelle Lewis, you guys know Lavelle.
yeah.
He's saying Biden is smoking crack. Someone is Lavelle. I don't know who's smoking the crack, Lavelle,
You
but
smoke crack, don't you, boy?
right.
I thought it was Hunter that smokes the crack.
Rich Martinez says, for the money that I pay in school taxes, they will hear my concerns if I
Well.
have it. No, Rich. No. They're going to continue
They'll take your house.
to they'll continue to raise your taxes every year.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, they sure
you,
do.
my friend, will not have a say. They'll say that you're being violent, you're being aggressive. They'll ban you from coming onto campus. They will arrest you for trespassing. And eventually they'll find a way to kick your kid out of school for some reason or another. I guarantee it.
Yeah, that's probably really the only true way to solve this problem. But you'd have to get 100,000 people to just simply
Take your
not
kids
pay,
out of school?
Just simply
Oh.
either take your kids out of school or not pay their school taxes.
Well, or you send your kid to a private school. And quite frankly, when you look
Is
at
it that
private,
much different?
when you look at private school or you homeschool, and God knows I'm not smart enough to homeschool a kid. Sure, right?
Could you imagine what Chloe would have turned
Oh
out?
my God.
She'd be like a podcast host or
Go,
something
yes.
with us two.
Yes. I mean, I'm not smart enough to homeschool my kid.
Wait, hold on. Say that again. You're not
Right.
smart enough to what?
And I can't even talk. Buy more ammo is what Michelle
I
says.
saw that.
Buy-
Absolutely.
Buy more ammo. So you're a domestic terrorist. Any of us who care about our children's education and what's being taught in schools, we are now labeled domestic terrorists, not Antifa, not the people who are burning down cities, not anybody who's on the street, bad actors. You parents who just care about what kind of education your kids are getting.
Yeah,
Just
this
let
sure
that-
escalated quick, didn't it?
Let that just soak in for a
Yeah.
second and kind of marinate on that for just a moment, because that should make every single one of us angry. And again, you bring up a good point. The school taxes are insane.
Mhm.
And I have clients that are right now, and this is the first time they've ever bought a house.
Yeah, welcome to New York.
First time they've ever bought a house. They've rented for almost 18, 20 years. And they're looking at the taxes going, oh my goodness, can we do something about these taxes? No, you live in New York where
Call
they
the
tax
tax opposer.
everything.
They moved
Well,
here from out of state?
No. They live
Oh.
here. They've rented for 18 to 20
Sure.
years. And so now they have to, but no, the taxes are what the taxes are, and they're never going down. They're never, ever going
They
down.
never go down. They never found a tax they didn't like.
We want to thank everyone who's watching the We the People Podcast Network, Kimberly's Revolution, and all the other shows that are on the We the People Podcast Network. We appreciate our patriots. Of course, I want to make sure that you guys can find us on all of the platforms where you get your
I
podcasts.
think I was kicked off.
Facebook, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. What were you kicked off of?
The We the People network doesn't come up on my.
I don't
available-
know.
I don't know.
What's wrong with that, but
Yeah,
I
there's
told
something
you
going
the
on.
other day. But now, after Facebook completely went silent for 6 hours on Monday,
It was so awesome.
something happened and it reset things. I don't know
Something happened and I got work done for 6 hours.
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but when they reset everything, people started telling me they couldn't find Kimberly's Revolution fan page. And I told you about it.
Mhm.
Were you able to figure that out? You didn't think about it a second after I texted you.
I did.
I know
and
you
I
didn't.
checked it and seems to be working fine. I guess if you can't find it, you'll have to search for it.
You can't even
and
search
then
for it.
refollow it.
Okay. So you can do that.
All right,
We-
I'll try right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We
Keep
appreciate
talking.
our sponsors on the We the People Podcast Network,
Ooh,
Express
Fantasy
Sealers.
football flex ratings. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, never mind.
We appreciate Express Sealers, Precision Lawn and Garden, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, and of course, Taylor Heating and Plumbing. Taylor 500 Help. Express Sealers, call them to seal your driveway. Make sure you go see Kimberly and Justin at Precision Lawn and Garden. And I will tell you, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture will do wonders if you're having issues with your body. Matt Fritz says, moved to Ohio from Canandaigua, kept my house as a rental over the last 2 years. Taxes on my property have gone up nearly $1,000 a year on $100,000 house. It's criminal.
Sure is.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely criminal. Today's show is called Gone Girl. And it's not because of the Ben Affleck movie. Did you guys see that movie?
No.
I have.
It is not. Mayor Lovely is gone.
See ya. Not yet, though.
And no, she is not. She did plead guilty to all the charges from
No, just one charge, right?
to were they all lumped into one? Help me understand this.
Well,
because there were several charges, right?
yeah. Well, she
that
had a
were all
felony.
lumped-
She had a felony charge that related to the election fraud. That was what her trial was scheduled for.
Right.
On Monday morning,
Right.
it was a felony, and they reduced it down to a misdemeanor.
The campaign finance crimes.
Correct. They allowed her out of that felony with a misdemeanor plea. Now, the rub, as they say, is that misdemeanor plea also covered or satisfied the charges from the completely separate incident,
From the gun
and the drug.
possession and the child endangerment charges.
So even though they were two parallel matters, two separate courts, two separate incidences occurred months and months, if not years apart.
Years apart.
Years apart. Yeah,
Years
they're
apart.
two completely different transactions.
That is correct.
The DA's office offered a deal that allowed her, if you plead, let me put it in layman's terms, plead guilty to A and will satisfy B, C, D, E, F, and G. Take the deal.
How many people?
Deal or no deal. You
Deal or
take the
no
deal
deal.
all day long.
Right.
And she gets to keep her law license, right?
Well, that remains to be seen.
They can suspend it, is my understanding. She has to go in front of some
Well, here's how it works.
committee, or is that right?
Attorney
Some-
Grievance Committee.
Right.
Felony conviction is an automatic disbarment. You plead guilty to a felony as an attorney,
You're done.
automatic disbarment.
You're
No
done. Yeah.
discretion. You're
Right.
gone. See you later. Go apply for your license to pump gas or something.
Okay.
Which isn't probably
need-
a bad idea.
You
right
need a
about now.
license for that?
In New Jersey, you do.
So yeah, you need a license to breathe in New York. It's called a mask. So if you plead guilty to a misdemeanor, or quite frankly, any conduct, even if you're arrested and charged with a crime and
Right.
you don't end up pleading guilty, the Attorney Grievance Committee, which is a separate body that oversees an attorney's law license,
They'll
on it,
decide her fate.
they decide her fate.
What
They
do
don't.
you think they'll do?
Nothing.
I think
Because
that,
Sandra Dorley says, and let me quote, the attorney grievance is a committee that will decide Lovely Warren's law license fate. A felony would have cost her license, which
Yes.
is what you just said, but a misdemeanor should not. However,
suspension.
according to Sandra Dorley, she could see the license suspended because of the admission of guilt on all those charges, or at least the one felony finance campaign charge.
There's a lot of things going on there that we really don't know the answer to, but I can kind of see through the window a little bit, knowing how the legal profession works and so on and so forth. I'm kind of shocked that Sandra Dorley would put that out in the public, first and foremost, because it's none of her jurisdictional business, so to speak. The Attorney Grievance
the
Committee.
grievance committee?
Yeah, she has zero control over that whatsoever.
Well, you know why she did.
She has control over the plea. The only reason why I can imagine that she brought it up publicly was to defend from the critics who are wondering why she allowed such a cupcake plea deal to go through.
Right.
So in other words, she's trying to throw some red meat back out to the people that are griping about this plea deal. So you're out there griping, why? She got off scot-free. She got off scot-free.
Well, it wouldn't. Don't try that at home, kids, because it's not working for any of us in this room.
Oh, no.
It worked
that's
for
the
Lovely
point.
Warren, but it's not working for any of us.
I've talked
So.
about this either on this show or my own show, and that is that you talked earlier about inner city kids who are going back and forth to school who don't feel safe, right? Because they live in war zones.
Right. Yes,
right?
they do.
And there's bullets flying.
Yes, every day.
If one of those kids decides to pack a gun so that he or she can get to school safely, and that gun is not registered, it's not licensed, they don't have a permit, they don't have all that nonsense,
and
right?
they're 12.
Let's say they're 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever they are.
Whatever age they are.
Whatever age they are. They're just trying to get back and forth to school safely. They're not planning on using that gun in commission of a crime. They're not planning on using that gun so that they can sell drugs on the corner and have a little, safety net, so to speak. They're just trying to protect their own life. And that's the only way they can see fit, because the police are being defunded. The RPD's not there to save their life when the gangbanger rolls up on them.
That's true.
Now, they get stopped by RPD or by a New York State trooper who's on a sting operation, right?
Right.
At the request of the Attorney General of New York State. And they get popped for that gun. Guess where that 15-year-old kid's going, or that 16-year-old kid's going to that? They're going to state prison.
Jail.
They're going
immediately
to state prison.
Do not pass go.
But if you're the mayor of the city of Rochester and you have multiple incidences of criminal behavior flying and circulating and encapsulating you.
Yeah.
Goodbye. We'll make it all go away for you.
Make it go away.
We'll make it go away. And maybe to those who are complaining to me, Sandra Dorley, that I let her off scot-free, maybe the Attorney Grievance Committee will deal with her. Maybe
they'll suspend her license.
But they don't have any. Sandra Dorley has no control over that. So what I would want the people who asked those questions of Sandra Dorley over the past 48 hours to do in a year from now or 6 months from now, if and when the Attorney Grievance Committee does not suspend her law license and just
Which I'm
gives her the
thinking they
same,
probably won't.
gives her the same slap on the hand. Now I want those microphones back in Sandra Dorley's face. Now ask her again. Now, Miss Dorley, you said the reason why it was okay to let her off scot-free from your standpoint was because, don't worry, the Attorney Grievance Committee will take care of her. Well, they didn't. So
now what?
Now what? Do you get to withdraw that plea? Was the plea conditioned upon that? No, it was, let's get rid of this. Let's move on. And if somebody else slaps her on the hand harder, great. If they don't, there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose for the whole system.
For everyone,
for the
right?
whole system, it's a lose-lose.
And of course, we had this picture,
except for Lovely,
that was put on Lovely Warren's Facebook page. Do we have the picture, the staged?
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that.
Beautiful.
Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Should I put my mask on?
She is
I like
standing.
the piano in the conference room.
When was this?
This was yesterday afternoon.
So this is after her plea.
This is after
You
the plea.
think though? I mean, look at the trees. This looks more like a July kind of summery
Wow.
picture.
No.
Right.
That's yesterday. That's
Really?
the same suit she's wearing, same hairstyle, the
Maybe
same
it
way.
was staged
Yeah,
earlier.
but those trees do look pretty
The
summery.
tree looks more summery than it is
I'm standing
fall.
alone.
Let me look outside.
I have
white.
power. I'm not going to be. Oh yeah, she's wearing
I
suffragette
guess
white.
they're still green.
next to the piano.
Suffragette white. Can I? And here's what I want to play. And again, the name of today's show is called Gone Girl. I mean, she's not really gone. She's here until December 1st as mayor of the city. I don't know why she's not gone immediately. That's a really good question that I
She'll
don't
be a
have.
city court judge next.
I haven't heard
Oh, yeah.
anyone answer why she wouldn't be. Why part of that plea deal is you're gone today. Today is your resignation day.
You know what though?
Or tomorrow is your
Because she's
resignation
got to take
day.
6 months of vacation and get paid for it.
I mean,
Cover tracks.
she will get her pension, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
she will.
she's getting her pension. A misdemeanor will not cost her pension, and she will be able to run for office again. Let's show that first video, not
She'll
the one,
be the next state attorney general.
not the one where the DA is speaking, but that one that I sent you yesterday. And I want you to listen real close, guys. Listen real close and see if anyone. And I think Burke asked her one question. Who works for the NBC affiliate. But listen close and see if you hear anyone shouting or asking questions or kind of making her uncomfortable.
Of Rochester Mayor Lovely Warren. It comes as part of a plea deal in 2 cases against her.
As of today, the city's in good hands. As of this moment, the city is in good hands. It's not like they're running her out or anything like that. She lost the primary election.
Mayor Warren's resignation is effective December 1st, 1 month before her term was set to expire.
1 month.
Good afternoon. I'm Jenny Ryan. Doug is off. The plea deal that called for the mayor's resignation came as her trial on campaign finance fraud was set to begin today. Prosecutors agreeing to drop 4 charges against her in 2 separate cases. 13 Wham's Dan Schrack is live now at City Hall with the details for us. Dan?
Jenny, just about 10 minutes ago, a spokesperson for the mayor's office said the case is over and it's business as usual.
She couldn't even, it's Justin Roy.
That may be the case for at least the next 2 months. Come December 1st, as you mentioned, Deputy Mayor Jim Smith will be installed.
Of Roby
Now,
Chad
today's court
fame.
hearing was supposed to be about Mayor Warren's 2017 re-election campaign. At the time, 2 of her
Where's
opponents
the media?
made accusations of fraudulent political
Nowhere to
action.
be seen.
Where's the questions? Where's any reporter?
But at the 11th hour today, a deal
This
was
is after the plea.
There's Burke.
an indictment handed up in July.
Burke, what are you doing?
Drug investigation involving her estranged husband.
Okay, so I just wanted to show you that because yesterday, I don't know why my alarm's going off. That's so weird.
It's time to wake up.
Time to feed the cat.
Yesterday, there were no shouting, no questions, nothing, not a thing. They didn't shout one single question at her.
Shocker.
She said, and I quote, "I'm pleading guilty for the sake of my daughter."
Right.
That's
I'm harboring drugs and guns in my house.
Well,
and
didn't she
leaving my
become-
daughter alone with them.
Didn't she
for the sake
become
of my
mayor
daughter.
for the sake of her daughter too?
uh,
For all those young little girls that needed a role model?
For
Isn't
the-
that why
I think
she
that was
became
Barack
mayor?
Obama.
for the sake of your daughter, you sent a city staffer to pick her up after daddy got popped by drug enforcement. You did it for your daughter. I don't know what daddies take their daughter along on drug deals, but I guess you were doing that for your daughter too, right?
Tom, did you do that or no?
I let me just say, I never
take my daughter along drug deals. I
Yeah.
brought my dog, Chad.
Your dog.
Yeah. Yeah, Ringo came with me everywhere.
So I just want to make that clear.
You know, there's
That's a lie.
There's another very strange aspect to this, to me, revolving around the resignation aspect. And even her attorney, Joe D'Amelio, was quoted as saying, "I don't know what the district attorney's office was thinking in requesting that." Now, ultimately, she decided to take the deal.
Mhm.
She decided that, you know what, that's no skin off my nose at this point because I'm done anyway.
Right.
So what's 1 month? And I'm getting all of the upside of having been mayor.
Why not today?
Didn't lose the
You
pension,
know?
didn't lose the
Right. How
question.
did they pick that date,
But
Chad?
here's
Just
the thing.
randomly, December
Well,
1st?
I heard something about that. I'll get to that in a minute.
All right.
To me, though, the issue is, again, just like Sandra Dorley has no jurisdictional authority over the Attorney Grievance Committee, therefore, it really shouldn't have anything to do with her rationale in offering a plea deal. At the same time, she also has zero jurisdictional authority over Mayor Lovely Warren's job as the mayor. That's up to the voters.
Right.
So, and look at don't mistake this for me defending Mayor Lovely Warren at all.
Right.
Right. But as an objective observer right now, I'm looking at this plea deal. And again, I'm looking strongly at the DA's office, wondering why the DA's office arbitrarily essentially called for and effectuated her resignation. Now, one can say she didn't have to take the deal, right? She
Right.
took the deal, but they put her in a position, and I guess maybe in some regards this was smart strategy on the DA's part, but they put her in a position where she ultimately said, okay, fine, I'll resign.
Right.
And then that gives the DA's office, again, the false narrative, the false ability to stand in front of the people, in front of the cameras and say, well, we got her to resign. Well, if you or I plead guilty to a crime, if anyone pleads guilty to a crime, it never involves us losing our job.
Our job.
Because
Yes.
you have no control over our employer. If I'm employed by, Kodak or Xerox or Bosch and Lomb, oh wait, none of those companies exist anymore. If you're employed
they
by,
sort of do.
There's still a few people
They
working
sort of
there.
do.
if you're employed by Kodak in 1987 and you plead guilty to armed robbery, DWI, you name it, there's no such thing as a plea deal that involves you losing your job. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
So why here? This smacks of the very thing that Mayor Lovely Warren said it was all along.
Political.
A political witch hunt. But now that her wings have been clipped, she really doesn't have the gravitas to go back in front of the cameras now and say, look, see, I was right. Because now you're done, right? You're a cooked goose at that point.
You're done. Right.
But I'll tell you what, it's true. It's true now in hindsight that Sandra Dorley was out for her job.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't believe that.
Well,
I don't believe that, but I will
That's
tell
the
you.
outcome.
There's no
she-
other meat on the bone other than that, right?
She got a good deal. And I'll tell you why she got it. Nobody else would get that deal. Nobody else would
No,
get all
that's
those
for
other
sure.
charges
That's for sure.
wiped clean. That's not happening. And they did say that what they were looking at with the breaching the campaign contribution limits, that the legal limit was $8,557. And
Yeah.
prosecutors had said the fraud, of which Lovely Warren and two other individuals were taking part in, that the three were accused, it was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. It wasn't just a couple of dollars here and a couple of dollars there. This was basically hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix an election, to cheat the city out of a rightful mayor. And she probably would have won anyway. She probably didn't even have to do this. But because she is the way she is, they did it anyway. Because Lovely was quite sure that whatever she was doing was going to be okay. And anyone who criticized her, it was going to
She
be
could squash them.
going to be a racist issue.
Let me
It's going
address
to be a racist issue. So now you got a guy who, Jim Smith, is the deputy mayor. He is going to be the mayor for a month.
For a month.
during
And-
Christmas. Oh wait, can you say
But
Christmas?
you know,
on
the
radio?
whole thing
We're on the
makes
radio?
me crazy because none of those reporters asked a question. But I remember when Robutrad, which was a white Republican scandal
Oh
here
yeah, that
in
was
Rochester,
the LDC issue, right?
right.
Under Maggie Brooks. Brooks.
under Maggie Brooks. And don't you remember they arrested all those guys?
They perp walked them.
And they all of the media, every single media person.
It was a setup. They
Was-
called him and they perp walked
Yep.
Maggie Brooks' husband across the road,
And all the rest of the guys
across Exchange Boulevard.
in handcuffs.
Yes.
Have you ever seen Timothy Granison, the husband of Mayor Lovely Warren, perp walked in handcuffs? Have you? Anyone?
I haven't.
No.
Bueller?
But 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever they were doing with Robutrad, skimming money off one to put, somewhere else in the
They're
county
laundering
funds.
money. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. That's
Exactly.
what government officials do.
The media was everywhere and they perp walked those guys
They did, yeah. It's a good point.
into the Monroe County Courthouse, right?
Real quick, addressing Paula Zach's question. Paula Zach says maybe Dorley didn't think she had a strong enough case to go to trial. That's a valid point, except it was on for trial. They were literally going to
They were
pick the
going.
jury.
They were picking the jury Monday
Yeah.
afternoon.
So that actually raises to me a very important question, and that is that why was the plea deal, assuming this is true, I don't really know, but it would appear to me at this point, why was the plea deal offered that morning? Why wasn't this plea deal
3
offered
months ago, 4
offered
months ago.
sooner?
That's a good question.
In other words, the DA's office
that is
was
a good question.
they were ready for trial. They got to that point. If she hadn't taken the plea deal, then the DA's office better have been ready for trial because
right.
they're picking the jury now. The
Right.
judge isn't going to grant an adjournment because you thought that the defendant was going to take the plea deal. I'm sorry, Your Honor, we're not ready because we offered such a great deal here and we couldn't believe that she didn't take it. So now we need an adjournment. No, they were going to pick a jury if she didn't take this plea deal.
Right.
So presumably they were ready for trial. They had all the evidence they needed. They were ready to put their case on, prove that she had committed this fraud scheme under the felony statute. And then at the same time, they spent the weekend over at the DA's office saying, all right, well, you know what? this is what we're going to do Monday morning. We're going to ask her to resign.
It's a Hail Mary, right?
We're going to ask her to resign and offer her a misdemeanor to satisfy a felony plus gun charges in a separate case.
Completely separate case.
It's almost as if she was working for the defense. I shouldn't say she, meaning Sandra, but it was almost as if the DA's office. Well, okay, again, I'm assuming some facts here, but based on my history of practicing law, doing some criminal defense work and all that, defense attorneys don't spell out plea deals, right? As a defense attorney, I don't go to the DA's office and spell out what I want you to offer me,
right?
And then they agree or disagree.
Maybe D'Amelio did, and Lovely, who is an attorney on her own, put together their own little deal.
That's the point.
Put together their own little deal.
D'Amelio put this together, and then he sells it to the DA's office. It's, to me, the exact opposite occurred from what would normally occur. So this just smacks of politics all over the spectrum.
Yeah.
And I believe,
well,
by the way, speaking of the Robotrad thing, I believe Joe D'Amelio was an attorney from one of those defendants also. He seems to get a lot of this high-profile political type of work.
He does. He doesn't always win, though. He doesn't always win. I don't think pleading guilty is a win. It might be a win. It's definitely a win, for Mayor Lovely Warren. It just, or maybe it's not. I mean, we don't know. We'll never know now going forward because the trial will never take place because of what happened yesterday afternoon, or was it the other Monday? I even lose track of days.
Yeah, right. Another great question by Paula. When the deputy mayor becomes mayor, does he have privileges to pardon Warren? Don't know. Great question, though. Find out, Paula. Let us know.
I will tell you that her house at 93 Woodman Park, that was listed for 172 and dropped for 160 to 162, is currently under contract. I don't know how much. You won't know until the closing exactly how much that 93 Woodman Park sold for, but I assume we'll probably know by the end of this month.
Do you know what kind of liens are on that property now?
I didn't see any liens when I looked it up.
I bet Joe D'Amelio has a lien on it.
Do you think he does?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I can go. Would that be on county record?
If he filed a mortgage against it, yeah.
Well,
if he took a mortgage in lieu of legal fees, absolutely.
But she's gone. She's gone. Gone Girl is the name of the show. The second Gone Girl is the interim police chief. She is gone. The interim police chief, Harriet Sullivan, is
she doesn't really have any
taking a hike.
Gravitas anymore either without Mayor Lovely Warren.
Cynthia Harriet Sullivan. Oh, by the way, I just want to say one more thing about the Lovely Warren situation. Her two co-defendants, her campaign treasurer, Albert Jones Jr., he got the same deal. And Rosalind Brooks Harris, she was a treasurer of Warren's Campaign Political Action Committee. They all pleaded guilty to the misdemeanor because they got the same deal. Brooks Harris, is the city's campaign finance director, and there's no indication
there
that she's stepping down.
Yeah. Campaign finance director, campaign finance fraud allegations, plea of guilty, no resignation asked for. Politics.
Yeah.
It
all points back to politics again.
Isn't that crazy to you? So Rosalind Brooks Harris, I hope she's not a realtor, is a treasurer of the Warren Campaign Political Action Committee and helped, fund all that money from one, committee to another. And that's what got him into trouble. She's now the city's campaign finance director. Just think about that for a second. And she's not stepping down, even after pleading guilty to which should have been a felony that's now a misdemeanor.
So if the DA's office actually had a rationale around asking for resignations in this plea deal, it would be to protect the public, right? Because that would be the district attorney's motive,
right,
and their job, so to speak. So the one person that actually is still in a position to harm the public right now is the co-defendant, who's the campaign finance director.
Yes.
Mayor Lovely Warren wasn't really in a position to harm the public. I mean, again,
the harm was ripping you off.
Yeah, well, the public got rid of her, though. They already got rid of her. There was a tool to get rid of her, and it was at the ballot box, and that worked. There's no tool to get rid of the campaign, the city's campaign finance director. There's no tool to get rid of her.
Is it appointed position? Is it a
Well,
civil service position?
It doesn't matter. There's
she'll
no
go.
tool to get rid of her, no matter what
Well,
the position is.
Can't the new mayor get rid of her?
Well, I'm
and
sure
replace her?
when Malik Evans, and it couldn't come soon enough. I'm sure when Malik Evans takes over, that she will no longer be there. But I mean, who knows?
Well, but the point is that why didn't Dorley get rid of her? If Dorley's trying to protect the public by asking for resignations, she does that now. She doesn't, again, just like she did with the grievance committee. Oh, maybe the grievance committee will come along.
Mhm.
Is that her thought process with this individual?
Yeah.
Oh, that's for Malik Evans? No,
Chad,
it just doesn't make sense.
even
is the
if it's
point.
only a month, right? The month of December. Isn't it kind of like when the president or the Congress impeaches the president, but the Senate doesn't? Well, he's impeached, even though nothing happened.
Mhm.
That's kind of like what I feel happened here. It's like Dorley got a win because she's out. She resigned, but it's only a month, so it didn't mean anything.
And she
So it's-
doesn't lose,
so-
lose her law license.
So it's
and
in,
she still gets her
it's in
pension.
name only that
Yeah.
she resigned.
Here's
and
the thing.
we got her to resign,
She got
even though it didn't do a damn thing.
she got a nice little deal. And it's something that if you ever cross Lovely Warren, it's not something she ever gave anyone else.
True.
She got a nice little deal, all wrapped up in a nice little package with a nice little pretty bow. And it's more than she ever gave anyone who got on the wrong side of her, including Jeremy Capel.
Yeah.
You know, the former TV meteorologist.
Who she had, speaking of no jurisdictional authority, so to speak, what in the hell did Lovely Warren have to do with Jeremy Capel and Jeremy Capel to do with Lovely Warren? Yet, because of her, essentially, she abused her position of power.
Yes, by calling Channel 10 and having
trial of
actually
public opinion.
the general manager say, "Oh, you want us to fire him? Okay."
Yeah. So what?
I don't even know what that should never happen in broadcast journalism. That general manager should have said, "It's nice to talk to you, Mayor. This isn't any of your business," and he should have hung up. And that should have been that.
Absolutely.
But that's not what happened. So the gone girl is Cynthia Harriet Sullivan. She has resigned. She has agreed to she had agreed to lead the department until June, but she stayed on. But now she is resigning. She was not eligible to carry a handgun. So hopefully the guy that's taking her place, Deputy Chief of Operations David Smith, I'm assuming he's able to carry a handgun. He will be the new guy in charge in the interim. So I asked someone who has fed me information before about one Deputy Chief of Operations, David Smith. And this person said to me, "I have worked with Dave for many, many years. Dave is okay. It all depends on which Dave Smith shows up to work for Rochester Police each day. It also depends on whether Dave Smith is on his meds or not."
I was just going to say, is this going to meds? Is
So
this going to alcohol? What is this going to?
I'm just telling you what someone wrote to me
So that wasn't a glowing recommendation there,
about
was it?
David Smith. Again, I have worked with Dave my whole career. It all depends on which Dave Smith shows up to work each day. It also depends on whether Dave Smith is on his meds.
Is he a career RPD or what is? Do we know his background?
Dave Smith?
Yeah.
He must be.
Is
Yeah.
he a beat cop? Did he rise through the ranks?
I don't know anything about him. But that's one thing that someone that I know very well
Everybody's phones are ringing today.
said to me. Not my phone. My phone's not ringing. Well, we're out of time. I don't know what happened.
What happened?
Can we so
we
Gone
rambled
Girl.
on and rambled on
So,
about Lovely Warren.
Cynthia
Go another 20 minutes.
Cynthia Harriet Sullivan is gone, and Mayor Lovely Warren will be gone on December 1st. But that still
When's
does not
Kathy Hochul going to be gone?
rectify the damage that has been done by Mayor Lovely Warren and her minions. And so that's all I have to say about that. Hey, Tom, I just got to remember when I said there's a supply chain problem.
Yes.
You better get your cereal now.
Uh-oh.
Get your
Which
cereal now. All of them.
Frankenberry.
Yeah, I was going to say Count Chocula.
Kellogg.
Sugar Smacks.
Production at Kellogg's U.S. cereal plants has been halted because of a strike.
I only eat Kashi.
Mostly,
I can open up one of those old boxes
Can
of
I
Flutie
just-
Flakes that I have.
Kashi is a Kellogg product.
Well, you know what? Quit pissing on my Wheaties.
By the way, I'm not speaking for you specifically.
It better
but,
not be.
But doesn't Kashi give you like horrible gas? I ate
It's good
Kashi
for
for
you.
a while.
A lot
and
of
I'm like,
fiber.
oh my God. There's like smells coming out of me. I don't
That's
know
good.
anything.
Your body was cleansing
Woo!
it. See,
That is
you
bad.
gotta listen and
is-
understand. You're not a tree hugger like I am.
Can I just say, some guy who drinks a half a cup of whiskey every hour, I'm not taking health advice from you.
It comes from a plant.
Wait, are
All
you
right.
looking at me or Tom?
Both, right? But so the Battle Creek, Michigan plant is on strike. Factories in Pennsylvania, Memphis, Tennessee, Omaha, Nebraska, they are all shut down because the company
Because the boxes of cereal refuse to get vaccinated.
yes, damn it.
Right? Was that the
Every
rest of the
time.
story? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
that was the
I'm
rest
sorry. I
of- that
ruined
was
the punchline.
rest of the
All right,
story.
go ahead.
No, because apparently the company has said they're going to send a majority of work to Mexico, and that has the union very, very upset.
All the Mexicans are coming here.
I
don't get it.
know.
Or the
I know.
Haitians or the
Do we have a picture of the
Cubans
cornflakes?
or who's
Cornflakes
coming
are
here?
a Kellogg product. The company continues to send jobs to Mexico. They say they will continue to send more jobs if workers do not accept outrageous proposals that take away protections that workers within the union have had for decades. Frosted mini wheats are gross. I've never liked mini wheats. They're yuck.
Oh, I love those.
Raisin Bran is a Kellogg product. So all these cereals are going to go bye-bye. You're going to see the cereal aisle at Wegman and Tops is kind of going to
Who
be
makes the Wegmans cereal? Wegmans doesn't make anything, right?
Wegmans.
No, they don't.
I don't know. I don't buy off-brand cereal, Tom. All right.
Really?
No.
Wegmans cereal is good.
Kashi,
Cereal snob.
Fruit Loops. What are you going to do without your Rice Krispie squares, Tom?
I do like me some Rice Krispie squares.
What? You are so white it hurts.
I do
But-
like. What's wrong with Rice Krispie squares?
Frosted Flakes, they're great. Apple Jacks,
Wait,
cinnamon toasted
I can't sing
Apple
Journey
Jacks.
or
It's a commercial for
Kenny
Apple Jacks.
Rogers,
It's
but
a,
you can sing.
it's a 1970s Saturday
Right.
morning commercial that I just happen to remember.
Gotcha.
Special K, all those cereals are produced by Kellogg. You think there's a supply chain problem now within the grocery stores? I've got to tell you that very shortly, the Kellogg product cereals are going to be very short handed to get.
Is the FBI going to
because
be
of the strike.
investigating the strike now?
They're domestic terrorists, those
Right.
workers at
Aren't-
this cereal plant.
That's a great
Aren't
point.
they?
How dare they take away my Fruit Loops?
Right.
All right, you're cutting in my whiskey time. Let's go.
Sorry. I just had to get
As
to
a
the cereal.
side note,
Can I just say I love cereal? And as a kid, this is so bad because my parents didn't pay attention to anything I was doing because I was the
We can
last one.
tell.
I was the last one. I would put sugar
yeah,
On
of
your
on
course.
my
Smacks?
cereal.
Yeah,
The cereal that was already sugared.
of course. Who didn't?
God, no wonder
As,
I've always had
as
a
a
problem
side
with my
note,
weight.
Sunday night,
Sunday night.
what are we going to do for the Chiefs Bills game?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Do you have a local watering hole that you prefer?
All of them.
Who won the bet last year? Did anyone pay up?
She never bet. She didn't do it.
I did bet Tom yesterday that within a year we'll see lovely Warren back in. I bet that we wouldn't, and he
Yeah,
bet that we
in
would.
I
some
thought we were
sort of-
talking about the Chiefs and the Bills.
We
I
are.
Back
was
to
just saying
that.
the bet. I was just saying there's a bet. We
Oh,
did make a
gotcha.
bet on Monday that I bet we wouldn't see Lovely back in some kind of a major job,
In 12 months.
and you said we would.
We would. Yes.
I'm gonna go with.
And we're going
I'm gonna go with. She'll be back in 12
she's
months.
going to be back in 12 months.
Yeah, no doubt.
So where do you want to go to watch the game? You want to go to like McGregor's or Titus? You want to Titus Tavern? That's too far for you, right?
It's too far.
I mean,
me.
where's your local watering hole that you want to go watch the game at?
I
I
think
don't.
he's asking you out, Kimberly.
I know. Let's go. Let's go to Hooligans.
Hooligans.
Yeah,
Ridge Road there.
yeah. Let's go to Hooligans.
Yeah, a couple of hooligans.
Or
going to
maybe
hooligans.
McGregor's. I'll get back to you on that. Maybe
All right.
McGregor's because I love that Gates McGregor's.
She'll get back to you.
I'll get back to you.
That means she'll be washing her hair.
Does that mean I got a maybe?
Sunday night. I don't think I can drink on Sunday
She's
night.
gonna be washing her hair.
Hey, listen, everybody. Listen, I got a maybe from Kimberly Ray.
I most of the guys give it two thumbs up.
You're
Yeah,
going like this.
I'm gonna rub off the phone number that I. Right. Exactly. All right. That is going to do it for
That's it.
Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People Podcast Network. We appreciate all of our patriots that watch and listen every single week. You can get us on whatever platform you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, of course, on Facebook. Follow us on the We the People podcast page on Facebook. We know they have some issues, but hopefully they've got those resolved. I don't know.
Check your invites.
We thank Chad for coming in here hot. He was late. He was being a dad, that domestic terrorist kind of dad.
That's right.
We thank Austin for being here. And of course, Just Tom, as always.
God bless. Go Bills and be kind to others.
Go Chiefs.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.